Deputy Hildegard Naughton, who joins me, and she is the only TD from the West of Ireland on the committee on the future of healthcare. And at that committee meeting yesterday, Pat Nash and Maurice Power, Chief Executive and Clinical Director of the Sale to Hospital Group, were in attendance, as you heard on news. Hildegard, good morning to you.
Good morning, Keith.
How did this invitation come to the Sale to Hospital Group?
Well, as you said, I'm a member of this group. It's a special cross-party Oireachtas committee that's set up for 6 months to look at the future of healthcare over the next 10 years and to come up with a new model for Ireland, so it's no mean feat. And as part of that, I felt it was critical that we invite in the different groups from across the country, and being from the west of Ireland, and knowing that the Sailta group covers such a huge area in the region from Galway, Mayo, Roscommon, Sligo, Leitrim and Donegal, it is critical to have their viewpoint at that committee. And it was a very important statement made by Dr. Pat Nash and Maurice Power of the Sailta group that Galway needs a new hospital and that we have capacity issues. And really it's because it has been designated a centre of excellence and serving such a huge population of 830,000 that if we're really looking at the future of healthcare, we need to be looking at our regions as well and looking at how we serve that population to the best of our ability.
Yeah, Nana, I do appreciate that. And it's all right looking into the future, and the Committee on Future of Healthcare needs to have teeth in this case, but we also need to look at the present.
Yes, and we have to look at the present and look at where we are at and how we can move forward. And what we don't want at this committee would be a huge restructuring, because there is just restructuring fatigue moving from our health boards to the HSE to groups. So we really need to be looking at the current situation and how we can improve it. And I suppose the Sale to Hospital Group, their point yesterday was that they made reference to the A&E that is not fit for purpose, but they also strongly stated that we need to be planning for the future and we cannot keep developing on the current UHG site because it is at capacity. It's not fit for purpose, and we need to be looking at where is the best site, and that is the Merlin Park site in my view. It's part of the University Hospital group. It's on state-owned land. It's about 145 acres, and I just think it's a real no-brainer to start phasing out our new hospital to the Merlin Park site, and that's where the clinicians will come on board, and that's why it was very important that Dr. Pat Nash was there, and I know he has the support of senior clinicians who also made a written submission to this committee, because UHG has come under unsustainable pressure now due to the fact that it is a centre of excellence. And even on the committee, there's a huge emphasis with regard to community care, primary care centres, step-down facilities, which is really critical. But UHG is a level 4 hospital. It provides tertiary level care for most specialities. So people will still need to go to their Model 4 hospital, and it's the only one in the Sailta group. So we need to be looking at capacity. Capacity is an issue, and that's what was really highlighted at yesterday's committee, and it was put on the record. And I think that was critical from the Sailta group's point of view, for the patients and the people who are using UHG. I think it's critical that this is put on the record and that it's taken on board by the HSE and ultimately by government.
But I don't know, was Merlin Park the correct site?
Well, I'm open to that as well. Really what we need to be doing is planning now, and we can have an argument about where it is, but I'd rather have the argument about putting a plan in place. The reason I suppose Merlin Park stands out for me and for most people is that we already own the land. It's part of the UHG. There's a hospital out there already. It's near the motorway, but that's not the argument. That's not. I don't think people are as concerned about where, as opposed to a plan being put in place. And Dr. Nash made reference there to the bed capacity issue, and you asked the question about funding, and this is where we need to be very careful now. We have to put a proper plan in place, and yes, we need to improve UHG as it currently is. The A&E is just not fit for purpose, and a new hospital will take a number of years. But what I wouldn't like to see is that the whole narrative is remains around the UHG site. We need to be investing money in a plan for whatever site would be at the Merlin Park site or wherever, and putting a master plan in place and start phasing out the move from UHG to that site on a phased basis. So, and again, that's a cheaper, more cost-effective way of doing it, where it's not a one big bang build, but we're phasing it out. But there is a master plan in place where you're not putting a certain department out, and in a couple of months or years' time you realise, well, that shouldn't have been there. That's in the wrong place for our overall plan. And just to give an example of the capital spend over the last 10 years in UHG, 109 million was spent over the last 10 years on capital investment, but it actually reduced the number of beds on the UHG campus by 157 beds. So, this is our centre of excellence for the West, as Pat Nash has pointed out, and bed capacity is an issue. So we need to be looking at where we're investing our money, and it has to be in this long-term, medium to long-term plan for a new hospital, and not just to keep focusing on the current site. And that's where we need the longer-term vision. And I spoke to the Minister for Health, Simon Harris, on this even yesterday, and the Taoiseach, following the statement made by Sailta at the committee. I have raised it in numerous occasions in the Dáil, and I will be advocating and pushing for this because it needs to be on the agenda. We all know there's been a very Dublin-centric narrative right across the board, and we need to be pushing for the west of Ireland, and that's not being parochial. It's helping the whole of the western region when you look at all the counties that are under this Sailta group and the needs of 800,000 people.
Yeah. Okay, stay with me if you don't mind. I want to go to Dr. Pat Nash, Clinical Director of the Sailta Hospital Group. Pat, good morning to you.
Morning, Keith.
I know you're in theatre, so thanks for stepping out this morning. Just in relation to the statement, you've made this before, but yourself and Morris in unison told this committee yesterday you need a new hospital.
Yeah, and I mean, we have been, anyone in Galway here will acknowledge that the current emergency department isn't fit for purpose, and that's been acknowledged by the Taoiseach and the previous ministers for health. Yeah. I mean, I don't think many people know that it's the second busiest emergency department in the country, and probably one of the smallest in the country and the oldest. But we do need a new emergency department, but we also need to think beyond that. The emergency department is just the entry portal to the hospital, and we need to be thinking on a new hospital to create a sustainable solution for the future. I mean, much of the current UHG site, the original ward block is from the 1950s, and especially some of the ground floor wards haven't changed that dramatically since then. So I think with the evolution of the group, of the Sailta group, there's been a big change in the profile of patients. And what I mean by that is we always provided care for Galway, Roscommon and Mayo, counties Mayo to a large extent. We're now the tertiary, the main referral centre for the whole west, northwest, Donegal, Sligo, Leitrim. So that is where the cancer centre for that entire region. That's about a population of 800,000. And I suppose with the group, there has been a change in referral pattern. So we're seeing a lot more of the complex care. I suppose anyone living in Galway, there's a lot more air ambulances landing in the hospital on a daily basis. But we still have our core function is to provide secondary immediate care to the populations of counties City of Galway and counties Galway and Roscommon. So I suppose that has exacerbated the pressure on the hospital, the entire hospital, DG being the front door of it, but the entire hospital on the UHG site.
Well, I mean, I think you've explained it very well, and we tried to do this before, but I mean, you looked after Galway City, County and parts of Mayo and parts of Roscommon, but now you're taking from the tip of Letterkenny and to the borders of Clare is where you're taking. So was it not thought out, or was it badly thought out at the time when that was foisted on you by the Department of Health as a centre of excellence without putting the infrastructure in place, including car parking?
Yeah, and I mean that was the point I made yesterday at the committee, is that the group was essentially created overnight. So I suppose, and then the referral patterns have changed, and I suppose there hasn't been time for planning, because any change is infrastructure. It's going to take time to be able to manage it. We are actively looking at ensuring what work that it currently is being done in the UHG site can be moved to other places such as Portiuncula, Roscommon. Unfortunately, I mean, the other hospitals are quite a distance from Galway, and that is a challenge. But we already have set up good programs of moving the higher volume elective procedures that are lower risk off of the UHG site. But I suppose anything we do on the UHG site, we're currently building a new radiotherapy unit on the site, has required multiple moves, and anyone who's on, we're building a new psychiatry unit to make space for the radiotherapy, so it has knock-on effects, and the site is overcrowded, and it is difficult to make the significant changes, the infrastructure changes that are needed on the site. And I suppose the Deputy Naughton has highlighted the potential for Merlin Park being a much bigger, essentially more greenfield site for the future.
But is Merlin Park appropriate, or should it be the airport site where there's motorways coming in, and once the city outer bypass, there'll be fairly clear movement back and forth? I mean, why settle for Merlin Park if the airport site or a site like that would make more sense?
Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't be fixed on it, and I suppose this is where you need experts to give you to do the formal assessments. I suppose as a clinician, what representing as the senior clinician in the hospital, representing them, is saying that the current infrastructure
is not fit for purpose.
It's not fit for purpose. It's a daily struggle, and I mean, the staff are working in very, very difficult circumstances, particularly in the emergency department, on a day in, day out basis, to provide the best quality care for patients. And I suppose I and my colleagues, we want to do better for our patients by improving their access to the hospital. And I suppose key to that is a new emergency department, but it needs to be as part of a new hospital build. And I suppose the site, I suppose, is more secondary. I would get it based on the assessment of what's the most appropriate site, and you're right, that may be a potential option.
Can I ask you, just in relation to, if a new hospital is, why is money being pumped in? 75-bedded unit, new psychiatric unit, a new radiography unit. Why is money being pumped in to an already overcrowded site?
Well, I think, many of these, if we are, a new hospital is going to take time. So these are urgent replacements. Irrespective, we need a solution for January. The new ward block will be present. It will be available in January. So will
you have the money to staff it though?
We're hoping to be the 75 beds will be available in January. We're hoping to have the resources to be. The initial plan is that it was replacement bed plus. There's 15 new beds in the block, but it will create, which up to now we haven't had, which is additional capacity to be able to open additional beds when the pressure is highest. Because currently in the UHG hospital and the site, every single bed is open every day of the year, and most hospitals have the ability to open an additional ward, turn on additional beds if the pressure increases. So that will give us this, which we haven't had. So that is our objective from the new year. So I suppose in the immediate, for people, we have an option to improve the access, to take away some of the pressure with the ward block. But I think we need to be thinking for in 10-15 years time what we want for an acute hospital for Galway. And I suppose with the group, it's not just Galway now; it's the entire west coast from Galway up to Inishowen.
So the new hospital then that you are referring to, then you're saying will run in parallel to the existing day-to-day running of UHG.
Yeah, and I suppose that's been shown to be the problem with the current. When we try and do anything on the site, it involves multiple moves to achieve kind of one primary objective, because the site is very congested. It's a low rise, quite a spread out site, but it does. If you move you've got to move A to B to C to D to affect
it's like
what
a jigsaw
you want.
puzzle, yeah.
Yeah.
In relation to the new hospital then, currently those that come from the Letterkenny to Sligo's and all the other referral areas, are they transferred back fairly quickly?
They are, depending on their care needs. But I suppose, speaking as a cardiologist, we provide care for patients with heart attacks throughout the entire Western Seaboard, and generally generally they're repatriated back to their local hospital once they've had the initial treatment and stenting. So the model is, in jargon, as bi-directional flow. So we take the patients in when they need to come in, and we try and get them back nearer home where they're going to need their longer-term follow-up in their local hospital. And I suppose the objective of the group is to ensure that we get access to patients at the right location when they need it, but to give their care as close to home as possible.
But unfortunately, even in the likes of Mayo, I was speaking to another colleague of yours last night, I mean, there's some patients in Mayo that are waiting to be transferred to Galway for procedures, yet they're holding up a bed, in inverted commas, in Mayo until you have access. So it really is a catch-22 for ye here. You can't take them, you don't have bed capacity, but they can't leave until the procedure is done. So it really is very difficult.
It is, and I mean, key to it is creating additional capacity to be able to get people in as timely a fashion as possible the treatment. I mean, we are looking at process issues, how we improve our processes, ensure that we don't have delays in access to diagnostics and access to specialist opinion, ensuring that when patients are finished their acute care, that the community is set up and the continuing care issues are addressed in a timely fashion. But we need additional capacity in Galway to be able to provide the two roles for the hospital going into the future.
Finally, is there a willingness to provide the cash needed to do this? Yes, the A&E will get, because there's pressure on that. But for a new hospital, greenfield site, 10 years' time, is there willingness?
Well, I think that's what we need to advocate strongly for the west of Ireland. I mean, the additional infrastructure has been piecemeal, and basically the original hospital, as I said, is from the early 1950s, the core hospital, and we've kind of added on bits over the years. But I suppose I see it as my role to advocate for it and to push to get a new hospital for the west of Ireland on the agenda and to realisation.
Are we the forgotten West for successive governments?
I think we need to make our voice clearly heard, and I mean, yesterday was the beginning of that process of highlighting that in the forum, which has been designated by the Oireachtas to look at the 10-year strategy for the health service.